Well, hello. I'm back in the Ozarks. Came back for a couple of weeks to take care of some business out here and visit with the grandkids and my daughter. And they're off up into Branson today, and I'm heading to Eye of the Needle this morning. So we had a cool front come through. It's about 67 degrees, which is nice and cool for this time of year, August the 2nd. And so I'm heading up to Eye of the Needle and gonna hike up there. I've never been there before, but looking forward to it. Just cruising through Ponca right now. Just came down the big hill. So to get to Eye of the Needle, it's in between Ponca and Jasper, and right around Mount Sherman. So I'll head back up the hill to Mount Sherman, and then I'll be hanging a left and getting on the gravel road down to Kyle's Landing, park there, and then hike up. So anyway, looking forward to it. It's supposed to be a high today of like 79, 80, so should be a good day for a hike. So I'll show you some video in a little bit. Bye. Turned off the highway to Buffalo at the Buffalo River Canoes, and the road going down to Kyle's Landing is steep. It's a gravel road the whole way, but it is very steep, and probably uses a four-wheel drive to get out, but you might be able to do a two-wheel drive, but it is kind of bumpy and steep in places. Big overlook there. starting off on the hike. I'm gonna park up here by the restroom. And what's that?
Look for the trail.
No, I know where it's at. Appreciate it. Pretty cool bluffs up there. Well, so I'm taking a little front pack that's got kind of my necessities in there. Got fire, filter, way to filter water, a little bit of food snacks, a knife, and anyway, light pack today, mainly just 2 liters of water, first aid kit, lots of snacks. So then I'm just taking it easy today. It's 4.7 miles up and back, so beautiful day. No clouds, blue sky, 68 degrees. Looks like there's a few other hikers out, and there's 4 cars parked down here. That's why I had to park up at the restroom area. Imagine there'll be some people going to the Eye of the Needle. Here's a little entrance. Off the wilderness trails. I'll probably have to be looking at my Onyx maps here. I'm going to go ahead and go to airplane mode since there's no cell service down here. Start off following just the Old River Trail and Buffalo River Trail. And that is the Buffalo River Trail that heads onto Irby. So we've got to stay up this way a little bit. I'm using this Onyx backcountry map. Used it on the Buffalo River Trail. It was real handy. Able to download maps, so you don't have cell service. You're still using your GPS and guiding you, so pretty handy. Now this is the way the Buffalo River Trail came in from Steel Creek, and we're gonna stay to the, let's see, so we want to stay on the Buffalo River Trail. That old river trail will cross the river, so we want to stay on Buffalo River Trail now towards Steel Creek for a little bit. Looks like some bear scat to me. Huh. Cool. Should be dropping down into Indian Creek, I believe. And from there we'll basically follow the creek upstream to the eye of the needle. So here Buffalo River Trail crosses over, and I think we stay on it for a little bit to get on the, I think this trail probably goes up around Indian Creek. No, I don't know, maybe it's an alternative route. But according to Onyx, I guess you can probably go either way. It just basically follows the creek up. So I know I came that way when I was hiking the Buffalo River Trail. So let's go this way and see where this one heads off. So no dogs or horses beyond this point. Huh. I think this trail just parallels the Indian Creek right over here to my right. Here's Indian Creek. This was flowing pretty good when I hiked the Buffalo River Trail in May. We had a lot of rain and had a lot of water running down through here at the time. So straight across here, it kind of connects back into the Buffalo River Trail. And I think from this point, you pretty much just follow the creek up. There's a little trail right here going up this side. I'm gonna look on this side and see if there's a trail over on this flat. A lot of times there's a trail on either side of these rocks that kind of go upstream. Yeah, so there's a little campsite right here. And then there's a trail here that heads back up into the brush. So, and I did not put on any tick spray on my arms, so I'm gonna stop here and give myself a little squirt right quick. All right, so back on trail. I'm gonna just stay on either side of this creek going up, following whatever trail might be here. spider web. Oh. Sorry, spider guy. I'm gonna have to come through your neighborhood. Got some hog tracks right here. I'm sure they hang around down these wet areas all the time. Yeah, there's another little path on that side. So we'll cross over and hop on it for a little bit. So I guess you could probably stay on either side of this creek starting off. This looks like a pretty well-used path here. Of course, when the water's flowing down through there, I'm sure everybody stays on this side of the creek if they're starting from Kyle's Landing. Little bitty tributary that comes in. Little spring, I'm sure it's flowing when there's a little wetter. Still got quite a ways to go. Cool little mossy tree and a place that collects water, I'm sure. Nice bluffs up there. There's the dry creek. There's a cool little worm right here. Little silkworm. Actually, there's a spring right here. I heard the water. Looks like it's dripping off the bluff right there and possibly running back into that little hole. I don't know. A little bit of water right there. Cool. It's a pretty cool spot. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a big huge rock here. And there's several spider webs across this little draw going up here. There's a little one right here and a bigger one up here close to this grapevine. And then that's all mossy rock with a little bit of moisture on it, so I'm sure that flows pretty good when it's wet. Just off the trail to the left there. trees up there. Had some high winds come through here. This big guy here, he got toppled too. Pretty fresh break. Not sure what kind of tree that is. Cool little tree here. Got a little cutout there. Looks like it's a maple. So far the first part of the trail has just been sticking to the, I guess it would be the east or southeast side of the creek, Indian Creek, on this trail, going all the way up. Looks like this point, it gets steep on that side, so trail's crossing over the creek here. And it's got a little flag marker right here, right there. So the trail on this side of the creek just stayed up there just a little ways, and it drops back down into the creek. Looks like crosses over. trees. One big one there. And there's the sister right there. Very cool. There's a little wet spring, looks like up there on the side, just kind of wet rocks, a little bit of water up there. So far I haven't found anything that would be worthy of filtering, so I brought 2 liters of water with me, just in case I didn't find any water to filter. Lots of spider webs out today. Man, that's cool. Cool little bluffs right there. Seems like there's a little den or something right up in there. At this point, there's not much of a trail. Just walking up kind of the creek bed on this side. It's possible there's a trail up high there somewhere, but there's a mess of trees there that kind of got carried down during a flood. That one fell over right there. And these other ones, I think, collected against it. So. It's just a little tributary channel that runs into Indian Creek. It's off to the left. A little semi-trail crossing this. Creek's right over here. A little bit of water. Might be a nice little swimming hole when this thing's full. So it looks to me like there's a trail right up on the edge there that kind of goes along, so I'm gonna hop up on it. Yeah, so there was a little trail up here. So that'd be a good place to filter water on the way back if I need actually a little pool up here, so I'll have plenty of water. Big bluff up on that side. There's some other hikers coming up behind. I can hear them. Nice little water pool right through here. Cool flat rocks. Really clear water, man. Really pretty right here. This looks a little slick. A lot of moss here. This is going to be slippery. Yeah, not too bad. It's really cool right here. Neat little place. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to hop back up on the ledge over here to the right. See if I can't get out of this mess here around it. This little pool of water just stops right here and kind of goes underground through the gravel and pops out back behind us where we had a little creek right there running. Right now the canyons are getting pretty steep on the sides. I think we're about halfway to the end of the trail, so pretty cool. Not much of a trail through here. You just gotta pick your way through the rocks and sticks. A lot of ferns down in this part. Didn't get much sunshine. There's a big pool of water up here. This is the hard part, getting around here. I think some people kind of go up on that ledge there, or you can wade through here and get wet, but I'm going to try to stay up high, get around this big boulder here. So this looks passable. It doesn't look slick over there in the sunshine. Yeah, much better than getting your feet wet. But I did wear my old tennis shoes instead of my hiking boots, just to, in case, I know it's going to be muddy up here probably, and I may have to get in the water, so that's fine if we do. I brought an extra pair of dry shoes back at the truck, so when I get back I can put on dry socks and shoes. Yeah, that's the way to get around that big boulder right there. Yeah, nice little place. There's kind of a mess of big boulders down here in the bottom. There's a tree across the trail. There is a little trail on that side, so I'm going to hop back over on that. Continue on up. Pretty cool place. You can see a big, huge bluff right up there in front of us. A little camp area right here. Semi part of the trail that hopped out of the creek. So, pretty little spot to stop. Another primitive overnight camp, I guess. There's some sort of little cave thing up there, a little trail going up to it. Looks like the trail stays on this side, because that looks pretty steep over there, so I'm gonna stay on this side and head on up. We hiked up this trail along this side here. It looks like on this section hops across to the flats. It's pretty big bluffs right over here, so I'm gonna cross sides and pop up here. Pretty cool place. Ozarks. You see a little bit of a steamy mist in the air. It's kind of floating around up there. Yeah, it's a good little trail on the west side of this creek. And part goes down. I'm gonna stay up high here. Make a little bit better time. There's a trail going up the side there, but there's definitely cliffs on that side, so I'm gonna drop back down the creek, walk it up. I think we're getting pretty close to the ropes course. Yeah, there's a big old bluff right there. Really big, massive bluffs on either side. This is definitely a good time to go when it's drier because there's still water, but yet you're not having to stay up on these ridge lines the whole time if this was really rolling down through here. So, plenty of spring water coming down. Oh, look at that wind kicking down through that canyon. Pretty cool. Little slip there. This is cool. Really, really cool. I remember this from the videos, this little fern section. It's like Jurassic Park. There's ferns everywhere. Big bluff up there. Big bluff back there. Nice cool breeze blowing up through here. Feels like it just dropped 10 degrees. Cool little bathtub. We're running out of trail up here. Jump back down in the creek. I think from here we're just gonna stay in the creek, pick our way through these boulders and rocks. Look at the size of those slabs. These big boulders here, I think there is a trail right there that kind of hops up over them. But this is doable. Indian Creek, baby. Pretty cool. Heading up to the eye of the needle. Yeah, definitely stay to the right of these big, huge rocks. Little trail hops up and around them. Little cave right here. cool. The size of that grapevine. Man. So coming around this ledge right here, we do have a nice little string someone tied up here to kind of help you with your balance. I don't think it's gonna be enough to really hang on to, but it did help. So staying out of the creek, staying up high on this trail to the right. Cool mushrooms. Nice little waterfall area. Heading down into the creek. Indian Creek's just kind of smooth on the bottom. Still a trail along the right here.
I'm sorry, you trying to get me?
No, it's all right. It's a pretty little place right here.
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous.
Got all these washouts.
Love it. Like little.
One little pretty waterfall after another one. This gets prettier and prettier. Ferns, running water, cool breeze. Great day. So there's a sign on a tree right back there. It said cave closed until further notice due to white nose bat syndrome. So that's the cave right up there. I guess you have to get to it by shimmying up that rock wall over there. That's pretty cool. Continue to follow along creek here. So right past the cave. You come around here and you get to the ropes course. And it goes straight up that way. So I think I'm gonna stop here and get a snack, rehydrate, rest up a little bit. Pretty cool place. It's a little spring.
What? You want to get a snapshot of it? Okay. Okay.
Pretty cool. I don't think this is coming out of a spring. I think it's just kind of running through the little narrow spot between the walls of the cave. And basically on the other side of this, you got to go up and over, and that gets to the eye of the needle. Pretty cool. A couple of guys behind me, past me, and going up the ropes. There's the cave right over there. All right. See if we can shimmy up these ropes. There's a shot of the cave. Woohoo, made it. Wow. Something else. Now I go through that little hole right there. Through the tunnel. Little duck walk through here. Now I gotta cross. Pretty cool. All this little trail here. Yeah, the needle's just right up there. So that's the way we came. Up the ropes. Got back in the creek along these big boulders. Lots of bluffs on either side. It's a massive chunk of boulders to climb over. But you see way up there on the cave, or on the cliff, I can see the eye of the needle right there. So let's get over these boulders and we'll be there. Cool. Awesome place. There it is. The eye of the needle. Pretty cool. Nothing but cliffs all around. Like these massive cliffs over here. We came up from that way right there. Pretty much cliffs on every side. Pretty cool. Well, made it to the eye of the needle. Pretty cool hike. Not too bad. A lot of little waterfalls. Even though it's dry up here, there's some good running water. Plenty for filtering. So anyway, I enjoyed it. There was a couple of guys walked up here that time I did, and I'm gonna tag with them till I get to the end of the ropes. Make sure I get off this little cliff area safely. So anyway, talk to you all in a little bit. Bye. One last look at the eye of the needle. I have a little fire going right here.
How did you get introduced to the gospel in that context?
These ropes really help. You just gotta go nice and slow. There's the drop off right there. Almost there. Right down. Cool. There's the cave. All right, heading back to the car. Little lizard guy. Well, recap from the eye of the needle. Left about, it was probably around 10 o'clock this morning, and it's just right at 3 o'clock now. So up there and back, about 2.5 hours each way. So really nice day. Warming up a little bit with the sun, but it's still a nice breeze blowing through here, and it's nice and cool. So back at the Kyle's Landing campground. It was a really neat hike. I enjoyed it, and ran into a couple other guys that were hiking up there from Springfield, so Alex and Daniel, so shout out to them. And yeah, pretty good. I'm fixing to go find me some dinner somewhere, lunch. Kind of hungry. See you next time. Bye. So my Onyx backcountry tracker said it was about right at 7 miles round trip, so FYI distance wise. Elevation change wasn't too bad. It was a little bit uphill, but not too bad. So anyway, walked into the Jasper Pizza Company here in Jasper, Arkansas. Smells pretty good.